Ilia Topuria has started beef with Team Khabib, taking aim at the whole Nurmagomedov clan, and we've seen Ilia Topuria's most insane and most delusional callouts before, claiming he could beat Sean O'Malley and Conor McGregor very easily, also saying that he wouldn't fight Max Holloway and Yair Rodriguez because essentially they were bums. But now we have a new name to the list with Islam Makhachev, right? Apparently now this is a fight that's being talked about, the two of them. They're obviously just a weight class apart. I would love to see this fight, but let's break it down. How did we get to this point? This all started when Ilia Topuria went on Instagram Live responding to fans talking about Islam Makhachev and a potential fight with him, and this is what Ilia Topuria had to say.
Subir a 155. ¿Por qué no? Ya lo he hecho una vez. Podría hacerlo otra vez. Saludos, Ilia, te ves en un combate con Makhachev. La verdad que por supuesto que me veo. Un gran peleador. A veces habla demasiado, a veces no. Pero siempre lo podemos resolver dentro de un octógono, ya que fuera no, porque le tendré que pagar toda la recuperación.
Now, I think a fight between the two of them could be interesting, right? For one, Ilia Topuria hits hard, and he is very decent on the ground. I actually don't think that it's a bad fight to make, but I want to talk about that more later. And Ilia also brought up, interestingly enough, fighting Islam on the streets. Now, Usman Nurmagomedov, you know, probably one of the more forgettable Nurmagomedovs just because he's not in the UFC, but he responded to this saying, "When did you ever fight on the street?" And here's where things got a little more personal, because Ilia Topuria says it has been a long time, to be honest. How are you doing with drugs? Are you still on steroids? Now, if you recall, Usman Nurmagomedov popped for steroids not too long ago. I believe it was last year or something, maybe even this year. So yeah, right off the bat, you know, we are seeing now Ilia Topuria not just go at Islam, but basically everybody a part of that group. And Islam did respond to this. I don't think he was happy with what he had to say about Usman. Islam Makhachev responded and said, "If Topuria continues in the same spirit, he may play himself out. Something may happen. So far, I have not seen anyone cross any personal boundaries. So far, nothing like that has happened. He needs to focus on his weight class and defending his belt at least once." And yeah, that's a good point. I want to get into that because, of course, Ilia Topuria is fighting in a couple weeks, so this isn't a done deal at all. And as you could probably guess, yeah, Ilia Topuria did not like this. You know, this was kind of a vague threat, maybe doing something in person. Ilia retweeted this quote and said, "I don't need to cross the lines, but it seems like the kids that hang out with you will try to cross a line they can't come back from. Let's leave the kids out of it and settle it like adults inside the octagon 2025 with a rose emoji." Now look, I think this is Ilia trying to say he doesn't mean so much disrespect, but he is looking at some of Islam Makhachev's, you know, affiliates and things like that. I think he's looking at Usman responding to him, and I also think he might be talking about Bilal from this interview.
Careful what you wish for, right? You want a street fight, they'll street fight you. They're not Islam doesn't care about, oh, let's get paid for it. Like, he sees you, you disrespect him, he's going to show you what disrespect means from Dagestan.
Now, Islam versus Ilia is for sure a possibility, right? But we have two questions. Number one, is this a fight that would be fair, right? Does this fight make sense? Does Ilia have a chance? And the second question is, does this fight even happen? Because as I mentioned before, Ilia is going to fight Max Holloway in a couple weeks. But I want to answer the first question first, right? Does Ilia actually have a chance against Islam? And I think there's a decent chance. I think that the fight should be made. I think if you're looking at Islam, he is too big, right? That's obviously the big thing. And he's also too experienced, right? Which Islam Makhachev, it seems that he doesn't have the experience over a lot of guys in the lightweight division. Over Ilia Topuria, he 1000% would. I would probably heavily lean towards Islam though, just because of the size advantage. But I do think that Ilia Topuria has that confidence where maybe he does push back Islam Makhachev. You know, we see guys fight Islam, they're very scared, you know, because Islam is good, right? Islam could just take you down. But Ilia is kind of delusional in a way that I think will actually help him in that fight. And the second question is, does Ilia even have a chance to fight Islam? Because like I said, he's gonna fight Max Holloway in a couple weeks, and I think the fight is pretty simple to break down. If Ilia Topuria does not knock out Max Holloway, I think Max Holloway wins. Maybe there's a chance Ilia Topuria uses his grappling, gets some takedowns, steals some rounds, and maybe wins a close victory, but I can't see a situation where he outclasses Max Holloway, but that's just me. I could look totally stupid in the next few weeks, but that's what I think. I think more likely than not, if Ilia Topuria is going to win, maybe it's some sort of submission, or he is the guy to crack Max Holloway's chin and knock him out cold. Max Holloway has had an incredible chin. I'm not trying to doubt it, but everybody's chin goes out, right? I mean, look at Tony Ferguson, look at Jorge Masvidal, and there's so many other names you can mention. Everybody has that time where their chin just doesn't work anymore, and Max Holloway has taken so many damage. I mean, in that last fight with Justin Gaethje, even though it wasn't technically a knockdown, he got knocked down pretty much for the first time in his career. And how will moving up and down weight, you know, affect him in this fight? But right now, if I'm going to be honest, who I'm leaning with, I'm kind of leaning towards Max Holloway. I think he's going to get it done, honestly, guys. I think he might lose the early rounds, and I think he's going to do well staying on the outside. And I'm kind of leaning towards a decision win for Max Holloway, but I want to review a little bit more tape when we get closer. I'll come out with a prediction when we're closer to the date. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button, all that, guys. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, and I'll see you guys in the next one.